It's the day after Election Day. Didn't even occur to me that we'd be talking about the election today because I didn't think it would be decided. And there I was at 3:30 a.m. watching Donald Trump accept the nomination to be the 47th president of the United States in what I am calling a landslide. No matter what the final tally is, Trump performed in demographics that he wasn't expected to perform in. Turns out you can go to the Garden and talk trash about Puerto Rico. You can have endorsements by Bad Bunny, Taylor Swift, Bruce Springsteen, and anyone else you want. And people tend to vote with their pocketbooks. One issue may be Israel. What happened yesterday and last night, where Kamala Harris did not even address the crowd that had gathered for her at Howard University, bailed at about 1 a.m. I even outlasted her. A decisive win against the status quo. There's really no other way to look at it, no matter what articles you read, and there's some good ones. The editorial in the New York Times came out at 5:37 a.m. Regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, read that editorial about what our role is as a citizen. It seems as though fewer people voted in 2024 than in 2020, but the final numbers aren't out, though Trump will win the popular vote. The electoral vote, the blue wall, everything that was supposed to go Kamala Harris's way did not. Hard to argue against the result other than to say that people weren't satisfied. They weren't satisfied with Biden. They weren't satisfied with their lot in life. They weren't satisfied with the agenda, foreign and domestic. A decisive win and a decisive statement against the Democrats. I don't necessarily view it as a victory for Elon Musk, though it's hard to argue the power of social media, the power of X. It's a decisive win in support of Israel. So people say that you can't vote Democrat, you can't vote Kamala and be a supporter of Israel. A decisive win for the economy of our country. People will say that. That's a wait to see. Will inflation go down? Would it have gone down? The old but-for argument. Well, if he weren't the 47th president, then inflation wouldn't go down. Gas prices wouldn't stay down. You wouldn't have the tax breaks that you were going to get from the Democrats. So you're going to be worse, but you'll be better, but you'll be worse. We'll find out. 2 years we have in front of us before the midterm elections. The Senate went red. It flipped. The House has not yet been decided. Could be that all three branches of government will be the Republican Party's domain. It's happened before. Some people may argue they like having one party or another as part of those both branches so that things actually get done. But of course, that is strange thinking, and that things get done. Not everything gets done, but things get done when there's a split. Hard to argue when you look across what males did, what women did, all of the talk of the women issue, abortion. Some states added abortion protections to their constitution. Some states did not. One of the biggest factors that I thought would sway this election. Didn't know what the result would be, too close to call, but it turned out not to be too close to call. But one of the things that I thought about was, are women going to be one-issue voters on their bodies? Not in the way that we thought. Let the Latin vote, the young vote, 18 to 45. Not a sweeping victory for Democrats the way they thought. So Trump takes the stage at 3:30 and he talks, and he had what I would describe a relatively low-key acceptance, talking about healing and talking all the things that you want the nominee to talk about, how we move forward. And that's the key. What does this mean? I'm not an alarmist. I'm not going to release a statement that I'm leaving the Republican Party or leaving the Democratic Party. I'm going to release a statement right here on Nothing Personal saying it's always been up to us. And we have exactly what the country wanted. And the hope that we all have is that there's growth in the country. We always want that. All of the same issues. We've got the debt to worry about, the national debt. We've got our own pocketbooks to worry about. We have our own security, immigration, a huge issue. The question is, how will the people we elected to do their job will do their job? And do we have the intellect to evaluate whether or not the job's being done? I do appreciate and want to thank people who voted. That's your job. Now your job changes to figure out if what you wanted happens or if what you wanted doesn't happen. And then you can adjust accordingly as we head into the next elections.